Okay. Let me hit live on Instagram here. I think we should be good. Go live. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. We are live and we are doing a little preview of Solarcon 2024, baby. I'm super excited. We got coming in about a week from now. We're going to be at Solarcon in Utah, hanging out with guys like Jake Hess, who is here live on the recording with us. Thanks for hopping on live with us here, Jake.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. It's been a
Yeah.
while since I've been on with you, Taylor. I think it was Door-to-Door Con, year one I did Solarcon. It was January before my first Solarcon.
Yeah. I know it's been a minute. I'm sure you're gearing up. I feel like we're on like David Letterman show or something, like previewing the big release or something for like your next blockbuster hit. You ever feel like that? You're just like going and, and talking about the event endlessly, just waiting for it to release, waiting for it to happen.
people are curious about it. They want to know about it. Rightfully so. But yeah, it does pile up closer to the conference. I would want to know the same thing. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to come on and do this and chat about it. It's certainly something we've put a lot of effort into and we're passionate about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was just telling you before we hit live here. Usually that's one of the episodes I look forward to is on my podcast is I get on and I do like a event preview for like Door to Door Con for SolarCon. And I like it because I'm just kind of scrolling through the agenda and kind of like picking the ones that I'm most excited for and talking about just giving people recommendations and all that. So when I heard you were free for a little live, I'm like, man, it'd be awesome. Who better to do a SolarCon preview with than the founder himself? So,
Hey.
um, so yeah, should be fun. But yeah, I don't know. First question I had, Jake, like, what's from last year to this year? Do you have any like big changes that have been made, or can people expect the event to be like much different from last year, or what can people expect?
Well, we do have some things that have changed, but there's also some things that have not changed that we have talked about in the past that are coming to fruition now. One of the big things that we changed this year is we added a stage, and we added that stage to be able to facilitate holding state-specific panels.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the space for it on the other breakouts, so we added one, and we brought in some experts that probably would not have attended SolarCon unless we had done that. Because there's different levels of the solar industry that maybe not all of us are thinking about or ingrained with or deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like the folks over at SEIA, or we have political leaders that are coming, like from like the governor's office, the government, the potential governor may even come as well. We've had conversations about someone running for president that's interested in coming. Like there's different parts of the solar industry that are starting to get integrated into this conference. We even have the C-suite from Q Cells is coming. They're 33% market share on panels to come check it out. So the stuff that we have brought is definitely attracting larger audiences and increasing the topics that are going to be talked about. Man, I don't even know where I'm going with all this. I guess not a lot of new stuff, but a lot of new things coming into SolarCon.
Yeah. Well, I bet. Yeah, I mean, you guys just blew it up last year. It's like I think even talking to you and Joe, I think you guys were even surprised with like how well it went and how many people showed up from last year. At least that's
Yeah. We're surprised every year it happened. Okay, that went well.
yeah.
Wow, that was magic. Like, because we don't know why it does. There's so many moving parts. If you think of all the sponsors coming, I think we have 130 sponsors. If you think of all of them coming and every tiny shipment that they have to send just to set up their booth or the swag they give out, or if you think about all of that, with all of those sponsors delivering all of their posters and pop-up banners and everything, how do we get it? How do we get it all on the floor at the same time with carpet put underneath it and pipe and drape set up and speakers traveling across the country and panels being built with, like, how does all of this planning that happens for 1 year, how's it supposed to happen and funnel down into a 3-day experience where there are no hiccups or problems?
Yeah.
That is intense. And so when
Yeah.
it goes right, we are like, "No way."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Well, I hope you get some sleep before the event. Yeah, I was telling you I'm doing, as my listeners know, I'm doing my live events the day before SolarCon. We're doing it down at the aquarium, just in Draper there.
Oh, cool.
And even just preparing for that, I'm like, man, are people gonna show up? Like, are we gonna get eaten by sharks at the aquarium? Like, just like every possible thought shows up.
I I remember, yeah, you asked if they were cool with it. Of course, we're cool with it. We love events before ours. I asked
Yeah,
Taggart if we could do League of Influencers before his door-to-door con, and he was down with it. It brings new audiences that maybe we don't get. You have a big
yeah,
following, so of course it's helpful. What
yeah.
day is yours again?
Mine's the 17th. So yeah, just Wednesday, and I think SolarCon starts Thursday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably come to your thing. I mean, I don't have anything going on. I will be in Salt Lake City on Monday, the 15th.
Okay.
And it's like a
Sweet.
big ship. The moment it's already moving. There's no way I can turn it 2
Yeah.
days, 3 days before the conference. It's just we'll see you there with everyone else.
Nice. Okay. Well, the bonus. So if people were questioning coming to my events, we might have Jake Hess make an appearance. So there you go.
I'd be
That'd
happy
be
to.
dope, man. Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
dope.
but one thing you did ask though, like that I kind of brushed over was I said we have things that we have talked about that are actually coming to fruition this conference. If you have been to the first two conferences, you would have seen things. Whoops. The first one certainly you saw the unification. You saw how the setup was going to be. We have the lounge chairs, we have the food, we have charging stations, we even have workstations this year. We have
Nice.
lockers for people to store things in. We have everything that you're going to need, so you don't feel like you have to go back to the room and come back and forth. And
Nice.
that's something we pulled out on year one, and we think a lot of its success was attributed to that. But year two, if you remember, we did Platinum Day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think was that just like day one before the event or something?
It was the day before the event, and what we were doing was we were stress testing the model of renting out the facility and what it would take to build all of the structures and sponsored whatever the areas that they have.
Yeah.
And we found out that we could not do it in the time frame we had, so we have to extend. So there was lesson number one. We figured out the weight of our team, logistics, all of that it would take to add an extra day to the conference.
Mm.
And then we did League of Influencers, which I believe you were also at, right?
Yeah. That's super cool.
That one was facilitated and built to be like a gala. Everyone was wearing tuxedos and gala dresses, and everyone looked very nice. We have a lot of content and photos,
Yeah.
but we did these two things with one goal in mind. We wanted to roll out the industry awards, and I don't mean like an award here or there that we just make up and here you go. I mean we have committees that have been formed for each category, like manufacturing awards. There's a
Mm.
manufacturer category with like 12 different awards in it
Mm.
for modules, inverters, anything that you could imagine. As far as manufacturing goes, we have an award for it. And the committee is not necessarily working at the companies. They're actually people that use it, like distribution, receive solar panels. Installers have to deal with it. CEOs of these install companies have to know how easy it is to get these panels, or there's so many variables to consider when you're thinking about what solar panel should get an award.
Yeah.
And these committees have formed that, and we're going to talk about it at Solarcon this year. The committees are going to go over all the criteria listed. We teamed up with Ohm Analytics, who
Mm.
runs like the database for solar for the whole country.
Yeah.
And we've all teamed up and partnered together to bring the Excellence in Solar Awards to the entirety of the globe of the
Wow.
residential solar industry.
Hmm.
And you saw the testing of that Platinum Day. So we're going to hold the award event the day before SolarCon next year. SolarCon 4, you will see the final brushed up build of this entire multi-$100,000 build of these awards for the industry. We have Nobel Peace Prizes for academics and science, and We
Yeah.
have JD Power and Associates to cars. Well, the solar industry deserves one, so we built it this year.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. I like it. Well, yeah, what's cool is you guys do, I don't know, because some of these other events, it's like they're all focused on just the technology. Like there's the one in San Diego. What's that one they do in San Diego every year? Where it's just
Intersolar.
yeah,
Intersolar.
Intersolar. Like, I don't know, for me, I was never like that interested because I'm just like sales, sales, sales. I know some people go to those, but sometimes I get like burned out by just talking about like solar panels for 2 days straight. Like I want to hear like the sales, I want to hear like the marketing. And that's what's really cool about Solarcon is you guys are doing it all. Like I think there's a really good balance of talking about, maybe newer products, new equipment, but then there's also guys coming, and I really like how you're talking about the different markets are coming this year too. There's like I think Texas panel,
Yeah.
Florida, like the different markets are coming. So is that something you thought about a lot? Is like, okay, how are we going to balance it between just geeking out about panels and the products, or like how did you guys want to try to structure that? What was your like thoughts as you're trying to combine like sales, equipment, just all the aspects of solar into one event?
Yeah, it basically boils down to I was traveling the country and doing some consulting for businesses. And
Mhm.
I remember I met one family on the East Coast and I met one on the West Coast, and both of them had an amazing wife. They both brought me home and had dinner for me. Their kids were playing like beautiful houses.
Nice.
Very kind people, and they hated each other. I was like, "No way. Have you met them? Have you
Yeah.
met this other person?" They said, "No." Like, wait, what? What are you talking about then? Social media? Like people get on like it was literally, I think it was SunPower, it was literally like, no, that person likes SunPower and we know how bad they are. And I was like, but do you really? Do you even know why they love SunPower? Maybe there's some valid points. I don't think like no, I know our product is best. We've done our research, but have you researched SunPower? No. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's when it dawned on me how much. And it wasn't just that. I mean, if you look in social media back a couple of years ago when you were in there too, doing all this stuff,
Yeah.
people were bashing each other for selling products.
Right.
Solar Edge is better, and phase, and that you don't see that much anymore.
Yeah.
You see a little bit, but I think a lot of the animosity, there was a lot of healing that happened when we put it under one roof because finally everybody got to meet each other, and then everybody got to learn about products directly from the resource. That wasn't available until Solarcon was there, for the residential industry, the economy of the residential industry, sales reps, installers. We even want EAs. We want people, CAD designer, engineers. We want everyone there because this information is relevant for all aspects of the residential solar industry. So to answer your question, the way that we thought about it, or the reason we did it, was we thought, it might heal the industry a bit and unify us in the collective goal, which is essentially getting solar on all the rooftops that we possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's so cool. Yeah, because I don't know. Hopefully, it's gotten a little bit better. But you remember, the early like solar Facebook groups. It's just like endless bashing of equipment and companies and all that. And there's still a lot of that sometimes. But I think what's cool about like you guys and Door to Door Con is it seems like everyone's trying to like work towards a collective goal and hopefully end some of this drama and all that that we see in a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, we
So
feel like we did a pretty good job of that the first 2 years. First year we were like, "Hey, let's unify." And then the second year, I really believe almost every speaker on main stage talked about how we've unified.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that we were the ones to start. I'm just saying that we contributed to that concept. And I think with all of the animosity and struggles that have happened in our industry this last year, we thought it would be prudent to have the theme be "Together we redefine the industry," because that is what's happening with these associations that are being formed, like RSA and Mentis, and we see so many changes across the country to inspire better practices. It's not just these organizations; businesses are adapting new
yeah,
policies. Sales reps are believing they need to learn more than they ever have before. There's so many parts to it, but then it's all kind of like there's no direction. Everyone's learning about new things and kind of drifting off into the abyss. So Solarcon's meant to like bring them back and have all of us aligned together with those thoughts. So
yeah, that's so cool. Well, cool, man. So I wanted to pick your brain a little bit, Jake. Like I said, I always do a Solarcon preview episode. So it's cool. If it's cool with you, I want to go through maybe like some highlights you're looking forward to personally. Maybe pull up the agenda here. Just talk about like some of the ones you're most looking forward to.
sure.
I know the one you're most excited about is the recruiting panel that I'm going to be on. That's
That
like the
is
highlight of the
number
event.
one.
Second is Gary V, but you know, I'll I'll take I'll take the gold there. But no, so yeah, I want to go through a little bit, maybe some highlights of the event. But yeah, first of all, how did you guys I don't know how much you can like share, but how did you manage getting Gary V to an event like this? That's like
Oh,
unreal, man. Like when I saw Gary V, I'm like, no way, how do they pull off Gary V? Come to the event. So was that like hard or I don't know, what's the background on that? How'd you guys pull off getting Gary V here?
I will tell you exactly how Gary V, Bradley, Andy Elliott, how any of these people that anyone knows, Jeremiah, I'll tell you exactly how they get to SolarCon.
Okay.
That would be Joe, because I have no idea who these people are until Joe says, hey, I have it, because I'm flying around all these places. I literally one time, I got a text message. This is bad. I'm sorry. I do. I turn my phone on slightly before we land.
Yeah. Okay.
But as we were landing, I remember I was looking down and wheels were about to touch, and he's like, hey, I know you have a meeting that you're going to go to, but there's enough time for you to stop at Bradley's. And I had the camera guy with me, and I'm like, who is Bradley? You know, and then I got there and I was waiting in the waiting area and I was looking at the time and I was like, yeah, he's making me wait 5 minutes. Like I gotta go. And so I called Joe, like, hey, sorry, man, I'm leaving. Sure enough, Brad comes out, like Joe's like, do not leave, wait there. I got, and then I don't know who this guy
Walked
is.
out on Bradley.
And I think it gives us a little advantage. Bradley even grabbed my phone. He's like, are you even following me? He's like, no. And he followed. But I think it gives us an advantage because I can talk to them just like anyone else. I'm like, okay, you want to come to the conference? What are you going to talk about? Like, I don't know their prestige or their level, but Joe does. And because Joe does, it adds such a tremendous amount of value to the conference. People don't want to just come and hear you and I talk, Taylor. They might love us, but they do want some of those big names, and Joe brings them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you hop on the phone with Gary V before, or he handled all that and just like, all right, Gary V's coming?
No, Gary was the first one that we weren't able to chat with. I remember the whole form we had to fill out, because once we got a hold of his people, the whole form that we had to fill out was asking us questions and even giving us ideas. They're like, okay, what are you requesting of Gary aside from speaking? Would you like to do a podcast with him? Would you like to have him do shout outs for you on social media? And we were like, oh yeah, absolutely. Check mark that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get it back. They're like, oh yeah, we're not going to do any of that. It's just for speaking. Like, what? Okay. We were getting stoked, but yeah, $275,000 later, we get him for 2 hours. And
Wow.
that's about what it takes to get Gary V.
Jeez. Okay. Well, hey, guess money goes a long way. Guess it's an extra 275,000 if you want him for a podcast on top of that. Thank you.
I don't know, but I tell you, one of the most disheartening things I have ever heard was I got a call from someone at an Aspire conference I think he spoke at. And they're like, dude, Gary V, amazing, right? Like, you guys are so lucky he's coming up. Totally worth the 75 grand.
Are you serious?
Like, sorry, what did you say?
Oh my God.
But he was like, oh no, I could be mistaken, but I think I'm right. And so I called John, like, what is happening? Why am I hearing these words out of this person's mouth? Yeah, but no, and we didn't build this conference. I'll tell you right now, not just this conference, all conferences, they sell 80% of their tickets in the final month, period. So we're spending millions of dollars building a conference, and we're literally like hoping that people attend. That's why you see these discount schedules happening. That's why you see like us traveling around, and like, that's why you see these things, is because we're trying to get money into the account so that we can stop spending as much as we are, knowing that people are going to come. And the crazy part is we have to wait. We have to wait until the final month before we even know. we hope that Gary Vee works. We hope the money we spent on him works. We hope that adding
Yeah.
all of these things in this marketing, we hope, right? And
Yeah.
Gary Vee definitely put a tremendous amount of stress on our cash flow and our processes because we won't see that money until now.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, that is stressful. Yeah, I'm over here complaining about like the, 3-4 grand I had to drop on my venue for my events. And but all of a sudden that doesn't seem too bad compared to 275,000.
Well, it's not a bad thing, dude. I'll tell you, it was one thing I tell Trey to build Solarcon, and I can say this now because it's past and I've proven it. But one of the things I had to do was kind of lie to the whole country a little bit, just this much. I had to say, yeah, we've got a cool kick-ass conference. Everyone's coming. Check
Yeah.
out this marketing. Check out the social media. We got these speakers.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, a month and a half before the conference started, we had 26 ticket sales on year one. We were
Really?
I was legit, and I'm not just saying this to be funny on here. I was legitimately like, okay, we've taken hundreds of thousands from sponsors, and we're going to be the laughing stock of the entire solar community. And
I didn't
other
know that.
people that had conferences were like, no, dude, don't worry. It all comes in the final month. You're fine. And I'm like trembling from not eating food and like
Yeah.
stressing out. And I'm like, really? Because I legitimately was like, okay, like what does this mean? Like I have a baby mom. I might not be able to pay child support anymore. I might be losing my relationship with my son. I
Oh,
might be getting lawsuits all over the place. I might be like, I'm telling you, the weight of all of this stuff crashing down on us with 26 ticket sales and $1 million in sponsor spend. It was scary. It was really hard,
wow.
but
Yeah, that's crazy.
I lie a little bit to sell it, and then I get the sponsors money to build it, and
Yeah.
then and then I and then we hope that the attendee money comes in so that we can break even. In the first 2 years, or the first year we broke even, and then the second year we were barely profitable. This
Yeah.
year we're short about 500,000. So
Oh, really?
buy your tickets.
Okay.
It's not, everyone thinks it's a glamorous. It's not like it's not like it's a big
Yeah.
money maker for us. It's not. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, well, speaking of tickets, hopefully people see this banner going across. But tomorrow, at the time we're doing this live here and recording, tomorrow is the last day for the discount you can get on the website. So I would definitely recommend, if you are checking this out or hearing this Wednesday, I think it's the 10th at midnight. There's not a discounts anymore. I guess there's still a small one if you use our coupon code, but the one for the website is going down. So
Mhm.
hopefully people go grab their tickets, and let's make some of that money back for Jake, so he's not so he can pay his child support. I'm just,
No, that was your one.
I'm just kidding. But but no, like, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a killer event. And yeah, let's go through a couple of the agenda. So I'm gonna share my screen, Jake, and maybe you can give us just like your thoughts on like some of the highlights we got so far. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see if it'll let me share the agenda here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I always like love checking out these agendas before, and kind of marking down the ones I want to hit and everything. So it's kicking off 9 a.m. on Thursday, April 18th. And then you got registration. So it looks like you're kicking it off. So what are you going to be talking about in your little kickoff to us there, Jake?
I'm going to be talking about, I mean, the message is basically going to be that, we fight a lot about the planet and how we need to go green, how the planet needs to be saved. And most people probably don't know this, but it is actually a fact. It's actually been proven by scientists, and no government is arguing this, which is why COP28 was just signed in Dubai recently. We all know that this has to happen. And there was companies before us, before me, when I got into solar. There were certainly companies before me,
Mhm.
not as many as there are now, But there are going to be companies after us. And if we do represent the solar industry, if that is us today, right now, that represents the entirety of the solar industry, I don't mean Solarcon, anyone that's listening to this, anyone that's participating, if we represent the solar industry and we know that bad things are happening in our industry right now, business companies going out of business, banks having to switch things, switching from loan to TPO, we might be running out of tax equity partners, so we might swing back to loans, or not, or maybe we have to go to cash or home equity lines of credit. It's all coming. And so if we know that these things are here now, then how are the companies after us going to survive? If it is to turn the planet green and get solar on these homes, as we grow a little bit old, 10 years from now, like when I started 10 years ago, who's
Yeah.
going to be here 10 years from now, and what policies are going to be set in place so that what happened this last year doesn't happen?
Yeah.
And I think it's the responsibility of everybody. I mean, what if banks were responsible for sales reps knowing how the tax credit works, right?
Yeah.
Before they allowed us to sell loans. What if they were, and it's traditionally not their responsibility, but what if it was?
Yeah.
What if regulation didn't come in and force us to learn that stuff and pass exams to do it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we do need this industry to survive. And since it is us here that is doing it now, then I think it weighs on our shoulders to be able to provide not just the platform for the country or the globe to get solar, but also the platform for the companies and the sales reps after us to be able to perform at their jobs.
Yeah. No, that's
So I'm going to
awesome.
talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think so important, especially for new reps coming in. We just all complain about these changes in funding and, companies paying after PTO now. But what I've seen is like most reps don't even understand these things. They just want to complain about how, the banks and stuff are trying to screw us over. So yeah, I think that's a really good message. A lot of people need to hear for sure. Okay, and then moving on. So yeah, like afternoon, this is where you're doing the looks like different states: Arizona, Florida, California, Texas.
Hmm.
That's a cool idea. Was that a who kind of like brainstormed that? What'd you guys think about when you're like, oh, let's do different states? Um,
Originally, it was actually David Williamson who was actually one of the major reasons SolarCon even took off.
mm,
Him and Chrissy Coonrod and Matt Cronwell definitely supported SolarCon. In fact, David Williamson and Chrissy was the very first one to agree to speak, and then David was the second.
mm,
They also promoted and advertised it and put a lot. And this was actually David's originally idea,
mm,
but we couldn't facilitate it. And then last year went by, we were testing Platinum Day, and then this year it was actually Casey Lopez out of Texas that reminded me. Like, he said, "Hey, I think it would be a good idea if you did these." And because of him, we did it this year.
nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think. Do you have the stats on like where, like what states most people come from? Do you have any idea on like where, if there's like a
Uh,
winner for the state?
yeah, we are not right now on me, but we are. We did start collecting that data. Stupid inside information, but a venue like the Salt Palace or any other conference center, they usually team up with the city to fill those things, because the city knows how profitable conferences can be. When people come in, they spend money on hotels, restaurants, tourist stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we actually get preferential treatment and rooms if we can prove that people are coming from out of state. So this year we started collecting those zip codes, and
Okay.
so that we can show that. But to answer your question, I don't have that answer now, but it
Yeah.
apparently is a very important topic when it comes to these conferences.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So it looks like some more breakout sessions. Yeah, we got your boy Taylor Armstrong here moderating the recruiting panel. So thanks for giving me the opportunity on that,
Hey,
Jake.
you know how to handle people.
Yeah, it's my first time moderating, I think. So hopefully I don't crash and burn too much, but excited to get up there
Oh,
and
it is on stage. You're moderating right now, but you mean on
yeah,
stage?
yeah,
There we go.
on stage. So I'm just gonna take it from virtual to on stage, but no, I'll get it figured out. So yeah, that'll be good. Some more breakout sessions. But yeah, any other highlights? I mean, you got Andy Elliott coming. The headliners are top notch for sure. But any other highlights that you think people shouldn't be missing from day one that you want to talk about, Jake?
Yeah, one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life was my first investment. I don't know, Taylor, if you've invested in things, but my first investment was actually just a health insurance type. It was tied to other. It was like a Roth IRA, but since I made too much to qualify for that, they told me how rich people do it. It's this life insurance policy.
Okay.
And it made a lot of sense when they met with me and I did it. And the guy telling me to invest, he's like, dude, only do what you can afford. I want you to what amount could leave your bank account and you wouldn't even notice? Like you'd wake up and be like, oh, how much left my account? No. I want to know how much could leave your account and you wouldn't, and I was like, $10. So I started my first investment with $10 a month. and
Okay.
and and I liked it because it gave me the language. I was like, oh, I guess I am the type of person that can invest now. And okay, so now I know what mutual funds are. And now I know, and it taught me a whole language and a whole world that I was actually kind of afraid to do because I didn't think I was worthy of it or worth it.
Yeah.
But no one really is when they're first investing. They don't think that. It's kind of a roller coaster of excitement, Las Vegas style. And then
Yeah.
when you do it, I remember in homeowners' homes, I even had conversations with them I wasn't able to before. They said a lot of the liquid that I had was put into mutual funds recently.
Hmm.
Before I had done it, I didn't know what that meant. And so I could say, "Oh, you guys are investing," and I look like one of them now because of the way that I responded. I know the tone and the intensity that I should, pertinent to that conversation. My
Right.
point in doing all of this is Alan Swick and Bryson Hunter there. Alan Swick is one of the OGs of Vivint, and we even have some really awesome guest speakers coming from Vivint. A really
Mm.
big one. I bet you can guess who.
Okay.
And we have Jason Brown coming, Bodie Gardner, Sean Branchley is part of the awards. So these people right here we've invested into this fund with them. Solarcon is actually building a large real estate, a big building in Las Vegas with a whole bunch of luxury condos.
Wow.
And these guys are the ones facilitating that. We partnered up with them, and the people of Solarcon can invest with us too. We're doing it. We're super stoked about it, and they allowed it to be credited and unaccredited investors. So that means even me, Jake, a long time ago when I did $10, they're even allowing people that are not used to investing, or this might be your first one. They're
Nice.
allowing people like that to come in. It won't be $10; it'll be like $5,000. But that is so low. That is so low. Getting into this type of investment, like real estate stuff, that's so low.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to bring something. So that's an exciting one for me because
Yeah.
that's a big. I guess I guess the reason it's excited is because we all talk about going green. We all talk about saving the planet and putting solar on houses, but we get so caught up in our day-to-day lives that who's really in our industry talking about making it green and a sustainable future for our families and for ourselves. And
Right.
so for me, the reason we started getting into these funds and stuff is because not only can we help the planet go green and bring sustainability to that, but we can also inspire and help do it with families and bring opportunities where people feel like they can be in an environment where they can invest in that and around people, their peers doing it. And so I'm pretty excited about that one for the reason, not the reasons of other people investing. We don't get much off that. It's more about people having, I guess, a future that they didn't
Yeah.
plan on having.
Yeah. That's super cool. Yeah, and so that's what I was talking about before. It's like not only are you talking about solar, about selling, you got guys coming in talking about investments. And yeah, I mean, just cool that we get to hear pretty much every aspect you could think of when it comes to solar, all in one event. So for those just joining the live here, if you're just joining in, we're talking about the schedule for SolarCon. So drop us some fire emojis, drop us some likes. If you're excited to hang out with your boy Taylor and your boy Jake at SolarCon 2024. And then moving on, Jake, we got day 2 on Friday. And so like this is, I don't know about you, Jake, but a lot of people, sometimes they party hard the first night. They don't end up showing up the next day until like 11 or 12. So do you think it's worth people showing up early to catch some of these ones at 9 o'clock? Like why should we wake up early to get there on time to the event the next day?
Yeah, if people think that 9 o'clock Mountain is early, then we should change that definition to start off with. Um, I usually wake up Pacific. I usually wake up 4:35. I think that's early. But 9 o'clock is lunchtime, guys. Do something. Come on. But no, we did put the most dynamic panels, the ones that people we know that people are going to want to hear and see, with some of the largest names, starting in the mornings, because we want people to get the full value of Solarcon while they're there. It's the reason they're there. I
Yeah,
understand going out and playing and facilitating parties and stuff is pretty fun
yeah,
to do, but also we want people to have fun, but also I think you can have fun and go out and stay up till 1, 2 in the morning and then come back and be ready at 9 o'clock. I don't think that's a hard thing to do for 3 days of your life.
yeah,
But we put these big panels on here, and these are the ones that people are really asking for.
yeah,
Like, oh my goodness, the top one right there, installers across the country are looking for a different level of salesperson. Salespeople might be wondering, like, "Wait, why aren't these companies picking me up as much? What is happening? Why are they getting attention and we're not?"
yeah,
It's like this veil that the salespeople have had over their eyes, but all of the installers over here in this club, like, laughing, like, with their mustaches, like, we picked these sales reps for these reasons, and it's like a veil to the sale. Like, why aren't we telling them? And
yeah.
so that's that first one there.
Nice.
Um, Virtual, obviously a big one. What's trending in door to door? Sam Taggart is
Yeah,
moderating that panel. We got Jack Pastrana, who's like is the top person over at Legacy. And we
yeah.
also,
He's in my office, by the way. Just was at a meeting with that guy an
oh,
hour
really?
ago. Yeah,
Um, how and why should installers use social media? Are you kidding? I mean, Gary Vee is coming. He's going to talk about it, but
yeah,
installers traditionally have not used social media to recruit, and they
yeah,
haven't used social media to deliver their messages. But now I am seeing social media grow like crazy. Like Goodleap has amped it up. Q Cells has amped it up. If you start following some of these, like, you'll see the social media has gone like whoop. People are taking it more serious. I think in this down market that the solar industry has put themselves in,
yeah,
I think more and more people are turning to media. They're even social media itself has changed. Like, it's used to be high end, ritzy, high developed content where people are traveling on yachts and sipping champagne. And now, when I'm scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, it's granulated images. It's kind of thrown together. Those are the things I'm finding I stop on, because people are saying the economy is like down a little bit and people are wanting to see more genuine and more real stuff. And I think that's what's happening in our industry. People want to see these businesses before they make a decision and jump. They're
yeah,
tired of the fluff and the smoke and the glitz and the glamour. They want to know the raw data, and I think they're starting to follow these organizations more for that reason. So
yeah.
I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, my only complaint with this, Jake, is you put too many good sessions all at the same time. So yeah, that's gonna be a tough decision, man. Waking up, figuring out which one to go to.
We wouldn't,
But,
a lot of thought and a lot of psychology goes into this, and I don't mind telling all my secrets here on your show.
yeah,
Uh, it the reason we do this is because we don't want someone going there feeling like they gained everything they could have from Solarcon. We want them to come
mhm,
back next year. Well,
yeah, okay, okay.
right?
I see your evil plans. I like it. No, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, then moving on. Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith, good friend of mine. That one's gonna be good. Alex Hall. Anyone that's named Alex and Solar, they're gonna be good for sure. Got
Just
Alex Smith,
rock it.
Alex Hall.
Oh, Dan Dunn, he's gonna be a fun one. He's playing the piano. We actually rented a separate piano for his stage because he's phenomenal at the piano, and he's gonna be playing the piano while he's doing his talk. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, because he's like a musician, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. Dan's awesome. Yeah, so quality ones right there. Let's see who else we got. Elliott Group. Um, yeah, a lot of breakout sessions. I didn't realize how many breakout sessions there were, but seems like that's most of the day on Fridays. Breakout sessions, right?
Goes breakout and then it goes back to main. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's good. All right, and then Jeremy
John
Minor. That's
Allman, John Allman, he's the CMO of SolarEdge, the chief marketing officer of SolarEdge. We have the founder of Enphase on here. We have executives from Q Cells coming to speak.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with those people, like, I'll be honest, sometimes the executives for like the solar, like the manufacturers and all that, they don't like spark my interest as much because sometimes I'll go to them and they're just talking about like their newest microinverter, all the features, whatever. Not always, but sometimes, right? So do you think as like a sales rep coming to Solarcon, what would be the advantage of going to some of these presentations by these guys? Do you think
What a
it's
beautiful question, and thank you for being honest about that because, yeah, it allowed me to think of this answer.
yeah,
I you're right. As a sales rep, door to door, I'm thinking when I was 25, why would I go? Why am I here as CMO of this company? I don't care, right?
yeah,
But what's kind of happening in our industry now is education is starting to take knowledge, product knowledge, solar knowledge is starting to take a precedent. It's starting to take a um, it's being valued more by
yeah,
organizations, by business owners. It just is. And I'm
yeah,
not saying that you have to go listen to John, talk about marketing for Solar Edge, but the entire point, the entire point of anyone getting into any career or growing or listening to Tony Robbins or anyone that you listen to, Joe Rogan, to excel yourself, is to get yourself into the circles of the people that you want to be, right? If you want to be at a certain level in your career, in your industry, then go get in those circles because maybe listening to the CMO of Solar Edge might just be like way up here, right?
yeah,
But at least you'll learn something. At least you'll get to say that you met with them or talked with them. At least you'll be able to understand to some capacity what owners or people at that level are talking about because then it gives you gives you an end goal. Could you
yeah,
imagine GPS not like knowing exactly where you're going to go? They just send you on a path and you kind of like where
yeah,
am I going? But when you know the end, when you know what it's like to communicate like that or how they even talk or the way that they carry themselves or how politically correct they're being on stage, like all of these things are things that you can pick up and learn from so that you can operate in the circles that maybe you aspire to be in.
yeah.
I think it would be
Like,
silly not to go listen to him talk because we're talking about one of the most recognized brands in the entire world for residential solar, and he was able to market that. But we have sales reps wondering how to do lead generation. I mean,
yeah,
talk about a massive gap in a spectrum there, complete opposite sides of
yeah,
the spectrum of being known and not known, right?
yeah, yeah. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, and I'm just thinking too, from like a sales standpoint, especially if you are offering some of these products, like how much more if you can go and hear like kind of the vision behind their products and everything they're doing to advance the technology and all that, then I don't know, that makes it that much more powerful in a sell when because we all know it's like, the person with the most conviction wins. How more powerful, like how I can't think of a better way to get more conviction in your product than going and hearing from like, the guys behind it and what their vision is and all that. And like it's like next time you're in a home trying to sell somebody, you can be like, "Hey, I've literally met with the CEO of this of this company, this product, and
Absolutely.
I know for
Absolutely.
sure what they're doing. It's
Think if
quality and all
you're
that."
a sales org owner, right? Like, let's say you go up to John, and I know John. I
Yeah.
text him. Like I convinced him to be in the movie that we did last year. It was awesome. If
Nice.
you go on my Instagram and you watch the Solar Edge one that looks like the Italian Job, he's the
Mhm.
guy in the trench coat that comes walking out. He wasn't going to be in it, but I'm glad he was fun to hang out with. But the cool part is, um, imagine you listen to him talk. He's going to be walking around the floor just like every other person in there. Let's say
Mhm.
you have someone that heard him talk and someone that didn't. I don't just mean John, I mean anyone on here. Someone that heard him talk and one that didn't. And maybe you got something inspiring from it. And you walked up to him and said, "Hey, John, I really appreciated when you said this, this, and this." And he responds back to you like, "No way. Thank you." He's a person that means something to him. It means something deep to him. It means he inspires someone. It's the whole reason he's up there talking. You didn't get paid to go up there and talk.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, they're not allowed to talk about their products, by the way.
Oh,
This
right.
is an education only conference.
Okay.
Um, Now that said, we do work in the companies that we do, and like just like I'm on here, you want me to talk about Solarcon. There's many other things I could talk about. He may talk about Solar Edge and refer to him simply because that's what he knows. But he was also the CMO of Xerox, if anyone
Oh,
knows that brand.
okay.
So the man knows how to market at a high level. So if he said something inspiring to you and he's walking around and you can actually go up and have an intelligent conversation with him, then maybe you are likely to get his phone number in your phone. Could you
Yeah.
imagine that if you were Taylor and I'm picking on you just because you're here, if
Yeah.
you were to throw another event and or maybe a virtual one, and you said, "Hey, we're going to have the chief marketing officer of Solar Edge come and speak to us," simply
Yeah.
because you walked up to him and said, "Hey, what you said meant something to me," and you got his phone number.
Yeah.
That's the kind of circles I'm talking about. Not a
Yeah.
lot of people in the country get to say that, right?
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Good point. Very good point. Yeah, and so moving on for time's sake, we'll skip around a little bit here,
Oh,
but
sorry. Jeremy Miner's signing books at the
oh,
event.
okay, okay.
You know?
Yeah, gotta love. I'm gonna see if I can get him on a podcast. I'm gonna go corner him and see if he'll come on a podcast. But no, I
There you
love
go.
Jeremy. Yeah, more I listen to that guy, this guy's got some killer word tracks and just like the psychology around sales that his background, his NEPQ stuff. It's an absolute fire. So no, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
He does. He does have some
Um,
good stuff. But I think it's cool that he's just posting up, gonna sign books. He's gonna be at his booth. He's coming to
nice.
speak. All of these main speakers, David Meltzer, Jeremy Miner, they hooked us up, man. Like they truly believe in solar. They truly believe in going green. They traditionally charge, and Jeremy was going to charge us last year.
Okay.
But we didn't have the budget for it last year. This year we decided to go for it, and he didn't want us to pay him, and neither did David Meltzer. They wanted to come and speak to all of you.
Wow. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I was listening on his podcast, and I think he said that solar is like his third. I mean, he trains like millions of sales guys, and solar,
Mhm.
I think, is his number three industry.
Yeah.
Out of millions of sales guys. So thought that was pretty cool. Um, cool. Okay, and then we got a breakout session. Man, you got our guy Bennett Maxwell coming back, huh? That's
Yeah.
brings him back a little bit.
Yeah,
Brings
he
him back.
freaking stud. I will have him everywhere I can. He's just an incredibly kind guy and super smart.
Yeah, I know it's cool. And so yeah, for those listening to this, this is kind of a full circle type thing because we got Bennett Maxwell, Earl Capule, another good friend of mine, and
Brent Attaway speaking on a panel up there.
yeah, Brand Attaway. So I mean, this takes us back. What was this? I think 2020 or something.
Yeah,
I think that's
right
when
on.
you're consulting all of us over at Switch to Solar, and it was me, Bennett Maxwell, Earl, Brent Attaway, and those were the good old days, man. I
Those
remember
are
going
great.
I remember going to your event at that movie theater in La Jolla there.
Yep.
That was like the first time I heard you. I was actually just over there last week. We were there and I walked across the street from that movie theater and it yeah, brought back all the memories. So
There it is, man. It's yeah, for those listening, when I stopped selling, when I stopped the whole Heliogold, the business thing of running sales work, I started the Solar Academy, and Brent Attaway and Bennett Maxwell were my first clients.
oh
And Taylor and Earl worked over there with them and helped them with their business, and I got to work very closely with all of them years ago, and they were the first. They were the first.
wow, I didn't realize we were the first. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, hey, you didn't make it seem that way. The way you were talking, I thought like, man, he must be doing this for decades. So you had me fooled.
Well, I mean, I had done it for my own company, and right,
Yeah.
and I had helped all
Okay.
the people that broke off of us start their companies and everything. I helped them too.
Yeah. Gotcha. No, that's cool though. So yeah, will be some good panels again. Yeah, gonna have to rack my brain about which to go to, but I might have to be just like jumping between them.
I'll
Going.
tell you one of my favorite ones is, and I know we talk about social media a bunch on here. I genuinely think, and if you hear Gary Vee speak, he
Yeah.
says this line. He's like, if I hear one more business owner, and that goes for sales reps too. If I hear one more business owner coming to me and say, "But Gary, uh, I don't, I don't know how to use TikTok or Instagram," he goes, "No shit, Don. But your customers do, your clients do." He's like, if these owners are not agnostic to where their customers are, it's not about what the owners think where they should be. Oh, I'm used to doing emails. I'm used to knocking doors. I'm used to doing virtual phone calls. Like, he's like, get out of here. All of your clients are on social media. every single one of them, and you must be absolutely agnostic to where your client's eyes are. He's like, you need to pay attention to where the attention is. All of the attention is on social media. You need to be there. He's like, when it was phones, it should have been phones. When it was email, we all got onto emails. Now it's social media. Be on it. And I think I see that trending absolutely in the industry. But one of my favorite panels is the social media panel that we put together, because
Mm.
it's not about people that are good at social media or they're on it. It's the people that actually create it. All of the elements of social media, the videographer, the manager,
Yeah.
the manager, the one that the business behind social media, the game plan. So if you truly want to build your social media, not just go hear a bunch of people that are already good at it, but if you truly want to build at it, they're going to give tips and tricks on how to use AI and implement um, a new thing coming out is not a new big trend coming out in social media is utilizing micro influencers to
Mm.
sell products like solar or other businesses. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty excited about that one right there in
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and definitely like even for sales reps, it's like, yeah, just social media is so huge, you know. I think the guys that actually take the time to build their brands, whether you're installing, selling panels, it's like it just makes it so much easier to recruit people to like, you know, have credibility on your team. And yeah, it's definitely changed my career for sure. I don't know where I'd be without, you know, podcasting and social media. So
It's changed
um,
mine. When you met me in La Jolla, I didn't have any social media at that point.
yeah,
Literally,
I remember.
literally everything that everyone sees that we do, that I do, all of that stuff, it was literally built in the last 2.5 years, 3 years now, 3 years.
Yeah.
Solarcon, we did not spend any money on ads. It was all built off of our social media. A multi-million-dollar conference built
Wow.
off social media on year one. And if we drop a line like, "Hey, I have a company looking for sales reps in this state," we can get hundreds of applicants. I put
Yeah.
an ad out there that I have some free time after SolarCon last year,
Hmm.
for anyone that wants me to come into their business for 6-7 months, and I charge $240,000 just up front just to hire me, and then there was a salary after, because all from social media. How in the world would any of them know who I was unless I didn't do it? So if
Yeah.
anyone is afraid of it, in less than 3 years, you can do whatever. It changes your career.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't have to have huge followings or whatever either, because I know that's an excuse people make. Oh, I don't have thousands of followers. Like, I see guys with like 600 followers that, you know, do awesome recruiting on social media and building their brand and all that. So,
I have
yeah,
3,000. I only have 3,000 followers,
yeah, that's about what I have too.
but we convert. But we know that it's not. And Gary will talk about this too. It's not about the followers. It's about how many people see it. Uh,
Yeah,
and even if you have high followers, because I've used influencers to promote SolarCon, and we can literally track how many tickets are sold from them. And I'm telling you, it's not the only value that an Instagram account has is if you can convert money off of it. I mean, right? Or you can use it to market something else that you're converting money off of. But
right.
if you have a big audience and you can't convert anything off of it, then why are you doing it? You want to be famous? You feel good waking up in the morning? Like,
Yeah,
so converting off, it's a whole different story. And I've done it with thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands of followers, and they might sell 2 tickets. Yet
yeah,
I can have 3,000 followers and I can sell thousands of tickets, right?
yeah, yeah.
You're
It's
dead
just,
accurate, Taylor. It's not about the followers.
yeah, so huge. Cool. Well, yeah, that's gonna be super important, super good. And then this is kind of cool. You got Latin Solar Convention. Are they doing one in Spanish or something? Is that what this guy's doing or
No, it's just a little short window. They're super supportive of us. We love what they're doing. So Angel is the owner founder of it. So we're having him come up and kind of address the audience and everything, talk about his conference, and they,
cool.
yeah, happy to
Nice,
do it.
nice. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, Frampton, always yeah, always good seeing one of the OGs, John Frampton in the house.
Big time, yeah.
Um yeah, oh Latinos en Fuego. Is that one gonna be in Spanish?
That one is again that one is oh, that's a panel. That's
Yeah.
a Latin panel, so likely it probably will be in Latin.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
they they picked their own people. I let Caesar there pick his own panel.
Yeah.
and gave them autonomy to do that. And I think they're going to go pure Spanish. We also they also have a big between Caesar and Angel that you mentioned earlier. They have a very big space on the conference floor that they're building for the Latin community as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, very
I like
cool.
it. I like it. Cool. Yeah, and Solar Objections Championship. I think that was, from what I remember last year, that was like the most packed breakout session that I saw. It was the Solar Objections Championship. And
Well,
so,
Joe likes to do it big. When he has a Solar Objections Facebook group,
yeah.
he's got to do a panel.
Yeah, so yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I
He
just had
even
this.
goes all out. He got like a chain, like so with a thing that people can wear that they won.
Nice. Yeah, no, I remember last year was super good. And yeah, this Anthony Fiorentine guy, I just did a podcast with him, but this dude, he did like 100 deals in the month of February. So
Wow.
should be some fire up there. That'll be good for sure. Okay, and then yeah, a few more breakout sessions. AI should be good. And then wrapping it up, you got the main stage. Of course, you got to have Michael O'Donnell on the main stage. I mean, how
Is it
can you
even
not?
considered a conference if you don't
Yeah.
have music? Is it?
Yeah. You're not even a solar conference until you get, Michael O'Donnell on the
You're
stage.
nothing. We could bring in Michael Jordan, Gary Vee. We could have Elon Musk come in, but if Michael's not there, we got a
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse operation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
John Dodart. Oh my gosh, he's exploding. Do you know who he is?
I think I heard of him, but I hadn't really checked it out. Does he do like legal stuff for solar? What's that? What's that going to
Yeah.
be about?
So basically, like he's we used to work at Olive Garden together.
Really? No way.
Yeah, long time ago. He came to League of Influencers and he's going through a divorce or went through one, and
Yeah.
he broke the rules. I don't know if this is incriminating or not. I should ask him, but he went in and his wife was threatening, like, you're breaking the rules, you're not supposed to. But he dug through a box and found a trainer pin from the Olive Garden and brought it at League of Influencers to remind me of the time of being at Olive Garden and how far we've come.
That's crazy.
But he's an attorney in multiple states, and he has done all of my stuff from Helio Gold to Solar Academy to Solarcon, and then
Yeah.
all the new stuff we're rolling out. He's done all of it, and he recently built Lawyers for Solar, and he's been around playing around the industry for like the last 4 months, but he has more clients than we probably have attendees at Solarcon.
Really?
He's
Wow.
super smart. He's fire, and a lot of people are looking for legal representation right now. And with
Yeah.
his personality type, I think a lot of people are going to resonate with him on that stage. He's a stud.
Nice. Wow, that's cool. That's long ways from Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Bet you'll tell that story at Solarcon.
I
He's
hope he
got it.
does. Maybe he does.
Yeah. Okay. And then wrapping it up, Brian Kim. What's this guy about? Brian Kim.
So he's one of the main guys over at Q Cells. When you talk about market share is like depending on the industry you're in, like you can't have more than 50%. That's a monopoly, right?
Yeah.
And so organizer or whatever, the government comes in and regulates that, moves them around, says other people need an opportunity, creates perks for other organizations. But these guys have 30%, a little over 30% of the entire market share in the world of creating solar panels.
Wow.
And that's Q Cells.
Wow.
The
Okay.
largest panel distributor and manufacturer in the planet is coming and talking right before Gary Vee.
Wow.
That's a pretty big deal.
That
Yeah.
is cool. That's huge. That's
They don't
awesome.
do this at the other conferences you mentioned. They don't do it at
Yeah.
NF Solar or I think this is incredible. I think SolarCon is I think after this year, I think year 4, you're going to see another, because year 1 was a big spike. We kind of leveled out a little bit with growth. I think year 4 is going to be a massive one.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm stoked. And then of course Gary Vee to wrap things up. And I'm glad I almost booked my plane ticket for like 8 o'clock that night, but I'm glad that I booked it for the next day, because I'm like, man, I can't risk missing the last speaker to to get on my plane. So I'm excited for Gary. But do you know like exactly how he's gonna like tie it into solar? Is it just gonna be general social media, or do you have any idea on like how he's kind of like tie in solar into his presentation or anything at the event?
Yeah, I think he's gonna spend about 30 to 40 minutes talking about me, and then no,
That's why it costs so much more, is you had to pay him extra 200 grand to talk about you.
Jake is my best friend in the world.
Yeah,
No,
checks out.
I hope he doesn't listen to this, but I'm like, who cares? Like, sure, I've been listening to him on social media.
Yeah,
Says some genius stuff. You've heard me quote him now because he's really as smart as hell.
yeah,
But this is Joe's dream. You are watching one of Joe's dreams come true. It has
okay,
been his dream for like years, he says, to have Gary Vee or be able to get to meet him.
yeah,
And sure enough, he builds a conference where he's able to do it.
wow,
Joe asked Gary to talk about social media and how to utilize it for yourself, for your business, to
mhm,
gain new clients. How do you use social media to gain business or to gain money?
yeah,
And that's what Gary's going to talk about.
yeah, okay. There you have it. Well, that's a wrap for, that's the event right there, and hopefully guys got fired up just hearing about some of the, upcoming presentations, the upcoming, breakout sessions and everything. And so, guys, if you have not purchased your tickets yet, remember today is or Wednesday the 10th is the last day to get that discount, extra discount. And so, if anyone's on the fence, what would you say to people listening, Jake? Maybe some people haven't bought a ticket yet; they're still on the fence. What do you say to these people to get them to stop dragging their feet? What's your final call to get these people here?
You know, I struggle with that one. I don't know. I guess people need to see value in people have to invest in themselves. They wonder why they're stagnant or stuck in the same place. And I'm not saying that's you listeners. I guess I'll talk about myself. I I've noticed that every single time I invest money into something, even as small as a conference ticket, uh, it it's come back to me when I invest in my career about
Yeah,
myself. I've invested. I invested the very first conference I went to, and I talk about this. I only went to two conferences before I decided to build Solarcon. I wouldn't have known what direction to go unless I had spent the money to fly out there and go to that event. I wouldn't even have known that it was a passion, or I would have been inspired. And so I'm not saying that any of these topics that we talked about here are going to be the thing to get you to come. But what I am saying is I don't think that you can go wrong investing in yourself and exploring new possibilities that you may or may not think are relevant to you at this moment. When you
yeah,
surround yourself in an environment where there is this much ambition, you can't go wrong. A lot of times in our lives we're stuck around people that want to go to parties or host barbecues, or we're going to a place where there is a massive amount of ambition and dedication and perseverance, resilience. Like, where else are you going to be? What other atmosphere are you going to be in where you get to experience the masses that have those attributes and qualities? And I think if any of you are on the fence, I think you'd be surprised at the magic that can be generated just based out of the sheer act of you putting some action behind your thoughts. That's it.
yeah. Love it. So there you have it. And yeah, I'm super excited, like echoing what Jake said. Just the power in networking there, connecting with people that maybe you only talk to on social media. It's like a big solar family reunion for me every year. And just seeing all the familiar faces. And there's so much power just in networking. Maybe we don't know exactly where solar is going to be in 3, 4, 5 years, but like if we're all connected and pushing towards a common goal, I think there's a ton of power in that. Then on top of everything that Jake is talking about, if that's not enough for you, then you're also going to get a free ticket to our event. And guys hopefully should know about this by now, but we're doing our event on the 17th before SolarCon. So if that's not enough, then hopefully guys can come and just get a ticket. I'll share our screen for that real quick, but it's a $297 ticket. You are getting it for free if you get your ticket to SolarCon with our coupon code. And then I got some other bonuses that we're rolling out for guys that want to take advantage of that. So go grab your tickets. Join us at the referral boot camp. This is going to be great too. You're hearing from Ashton, Brent, a lot of guys that are crushing a ton of referrals. So it's a little bonus thing we're doing. Yeah,
I
on top.
fully believe in this. You should definitely go to, if you're coming to Solarcon, come a day early, go to this. Brent
Yeah,
Attaway has changed our business.
yeah,
Are you Taylor? Thank you for everything that you do, that you've done for me, and that you've done for Joe. Thank you, because
that's
you have
it,
a
brother.
massive audience, and we weren't known until you gave us a platform.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, Ashton there, he's on a committee for us for the Excellence in Solar Awards, because he just represents a lot of good for the industry, and he can sell lights out.
yeah,
You know, I can talk about the others, but Crowler there, he's finally stepping into a new realm, and this is, you gave him his first opportunity. Taylor, you are a badass at what you do, and if you'll allow me, I would like to go to this, if that's okay.
of course.
All
We'll
right.
we'll get you a free ticket. Well, just for letting me go to Solarcon, get you a free ticket.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, but yeah, so guys, come hang out with myself. Come hang out with Jake. It's gonna be right in front of the Shark Tank, so that's gonna be, awesome. Just sharks swimming around while we're talking about solars. I mean, come on, doesn't get better than that. Yeah, we're gonna have some good food there, a little Hawaiian lunch, pulled pork, all this stuff. So hope you guys can join us at these events. And Jake, appreciate you coming on and just giving us a little demo. I like it way more that you could come on and demo it instead of me just giving my opinion on things. So we appreciate you, and can't wait to see you at SolarCon, man. But it's gonna be awesome. So thanks again for
Thank you
coming
very
on with
much,
us.
Taylor. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right, see
Peace.
ya.